On today's episode, I'm going to be explaining to you why what we call love isn't really love. You will understand why relationships do not work. And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about dating. I'm talking about all kinds of relationships. Relationships are not working. Parents are not able to connect with their children. Friends are always gossiping about one another. Couples are always fighting. People hate their co-workers. Relationships ain't working. Like, for real, relationships are not working. We're not doing well as a collective when it comes to relationship. I'll explain why we're not doing well. So yeah, I'm going to be explaining to you why what we call love isn't really love. I'm going to be explaining to you what love really is and why it is hard for humans to actually love one another. What is making it hard for humans to love one another? I remember this lady who commented on one of the videos where I was talking about love. She said, if you believe that love doesn't exist, it means that you do not have children. Or you're just not a good father. I laughed when I saw that comment. It's like, human beings don't really understand themselves, do they? Have you ever loved someone before? I think most humans have loved someone before. And that person broke your heart, right? Like the people that we loved the most are the ones who have hurt us the most. I mean, when it comes to dating. I'm going to be talking a lot about dating because most people have problems like when it comes to dating. So I'm going to be talking a lot about dating, but relationships in general are not working. That ex of yours that you've loved more than everyone else that broke your heart. You didn't love them. You just think you did. When they left, you probably told them that, hey, I love you so much. I can't live without you. Why are you doing this? But you never loved them. You just think you did because you don't really understand what true love is. The luckiest people in the world are the people when we see them, our brains unlock positive emotions. When we see them, we just feel these positive emotions. These are the luckiest people in the world. Because they get all the privileges. People are easily addicted to them. People can't live without them. People want them in their lives. These are the luckiest people in the world. But what I want you to notice is that You actually love the fact that you feel positive emotions when you see them, when you are with them, when you're talking to them. I want you to notice that. You feel positive emotions when you're talking to them, when you are interacting with them, when you see them. You feel positive emotions. Do you not want to feel positive emotions? Is there a person in this world who wants to feel negative emotions? Because you want to feel positive emotions, right? Notice that there are people who used to make you feel these positive emotions. And when you were feeling these positive emotions around them, you were treating them good. You were treating them well because you were feeling these positive emotions around them. But once you stopped, once you got like maybe so used to them that you weren't feeling these positive emotions anymore, you stopped treating them the way that you were treating them. I want you to notice that. Even if they didn't like really change, you probably made excuses like, how now do you change? Or you look for things that they did in the past, like, oh, you did this to me in the past, or you said this in the past, or you behaved this way in the past. I want you to notice that you treat people based on how you feel about them. Doesn't really matter if they're good people. Doesn't really matter if they're bad people. Doesn't really matter if they are selfish. Doesn't really matter if they're selfless. Doesn't matter. It's all about how you feel. If you love the God of the Old Testament, doesn't matter if he unalives innocent people for no good reason. Doesn't really matter if he wants you to unalive others for him. If he wants you to sacrifice animals for, it doesn't really matter. You love how you feel about him. You love the way that he makes you feel. What you must notice is that it's all about how you feel. It's all about how you feel. Once you stop feeling the feelings that you want to feel for someone, you stop treating them the way that you were treating them when you were feeling these feelings for them. You stop giving them privileges. If you're married to someone, you stop being intimate with them. Like, you don't have feelings for them. Like, you no longer feel those feelings. So it doesn't matter if they want to be intimate with you. What matters is how you feel. What you must notice is that you are loyal to your feelings. You are loyal to your feelings. The truth is that you've never really loved anyone. You've just loved yourself. But then you felt like you loved other people because you felt these good emotions when you were around them. So you told yourself that, oh, I love them, but you've never really loved them. You've only loved yourself. That is why most people who get divorced hate each other. Ever seen a couple that has lost feelings for each other fighting? You see that, oh yeah, there's no love. They don't feel these positive emotions. So they don't love themselves anymore. Because they're not feeling these feelings. They want to feel these feelings again, but they're not feeling these feelings. So they start blaming the other person that, oh, it means you're doing something wrong. That is why I'm not feeling these feelings. Because I want to feel these feelings. I'm tired of not feeling these feelings. That's why people cheat. No, they're tired of not feeling these feelings. So they go out and cheat because they're trying to feel this feeling. I understand what I'm saying when I say you've never really loved another person. You've only loved yourself. You've only been loyal to your feelings. The luckiest people in the world are the people who are able to make other people feel these positive emotions that they want to feel, because they will be treated well by society. You're cursed if everyone doesn't feel these positive emotions for you. Like everyone in the world, everyone you meet, like, it sucks. The fact that, you know, there are a lot of people in this world who are not treated very well by people just because they don't feel this positive. Because human beings are selfish. No one is going to treat you well just because you're a good person. Like, I mean, well enough. Let me put it that way. No one is going to, like, really make you feel how you want to feel. No one is really going to heal you. No one is going to really want to connect with you if they don't feel these feelings when they're around you. There ain't that many people in the world who have actually experienced what it's like to have, people feel these emotions for them. Like, not that many people in the world. People get into relationships these days just because they feel alone, or they want money, they want security, they don't want to be judged by other people. Why are you single? I've never seen you with a girl. I've never seen you with a guy. What's going on? They just date who they can date, even though they're not feeling these feelings for these people. So most relationships don't really work, because if you're not feeling these feelings for the person that you are dating, you're not going to treat them in a way that will make them feel satisfied. You know what I mean? You're not going to treat them in a way that will make them feel satisfied. So they won't be satisfied in that relationship, because the feelings are not there. You don't feel happy when you see them. You don't feel excited when you see them. You don't feel like you want to spend the rest of your life with them. That's just what's available. So the people who I like are the people who, are able to make other people feel these emotions. But what we must also understand is that these emotions usually do not last. These emotions usually do not last. So you might date someone for a year thinking that, oh, I found the love of my life, I love this person, but you get used to them, or you meet someone who makes you feel better, or who makes you feel the same feelings that you were feeling for your partner again, because you're no longer feeling these feelings for your partner because now you're so used to your partner. So you meet another person and you're like, oh, I love this person, I made a mistake, and you wanna date that person. We are loyal to our feelings as people. We love ourselves. We don't love other people. We just think that we do. We have romanticized love so much that people really believe in it. They don't realize that they've never really loved another person other than themselves. Parents will say, I love my child, I have an unconditional love for my child. Nature has to make sure that your brain unlock these emotions. Right? It has to make sure that your brain unlocks these emotions when you have a child. Why? So that you don't unalive the child. You must raise that child. When the child is crying and being annoying, you don't want to do something bad to them. Like you know what I mean? When you're feeling these emotions, but it's about how you feel. You're selfish. Let me tell you something. If someone stole your child before you even connected with your child, before you even saw your child, like someone stole your child and gave you another child, and you thought it was your child, and you raised a child, you would love that child. If later, maybe 5 months later, they brought your child back and they wanted you to love the child, it wouldn't be easy for you to love the child. You will still love the child that they gave you more than your own child, because you don't know that that's your child. I've been telling y'all that parents do not love their parents. I don't want to put it. Let me say, my parents do not love me. They love their child. I want to put it this way because it kind of sounds bad if I just say your parents. My parents don't love me. They love their child. They know that I'm their son, so that unlocks these emotions, these positive emotions that they want to. But if they didn't know that, then their brains wouldn't unlock these emotions. You gotta know how nature tricks you into doing things. Think about it. Do you think you would love your child if nature didn't make you feel these emotions for them? It's the emotions that you feel. So you are actually loyal to how you feel. There are parents who used to love their children, but their children didn't behave the way that they wanted them to behave. It got to a point where they're like, If love is based on feelings, it's not for the other person. It's for you. It's all about you. It's you loving yourself. It's you loving how you feel. It's not about that person that you think you love. It's about you. That person just help you unlock these feelings that you want to feel. And you say you love them. That is why if someone falls in love with you, thinking that they fell in love with you, and things stop going well in your life, maybe you become sick, they're no longer feeling these feelings for you. They break your heart and show you that what you call love isn't what you think it is. Because here's the thing, if someone loves you and what you think love is really was what you thought it was, when you need them the most, when you are sick, when you're stranded, when you lose your job as a man, when you lose your beauty as a woman, that's when your man should actually love you the most. Because things are not going to be as easy as they were for you. You see, like when you lose your job, your woman has to be there for you and make you feel strong again. Right? But that's when she leaves. She's no longer feeling those feelings. You see? Like deep down, we all know that what we call love isn't really love. This is why a lot of people are heartbroken. A lot of people are heartbroken, bro. A lot of people are heartbroken. If like every person like has a painful love story. I mean, almost every person has a painful love story. If love was what we thought it was, a lot of people will not suffer because of love. When people think that they love you, when they feel these feelings for you, they tend to treat you the way that every human desires to be treated. And when they do not feel these feelings anymore, they treat you the way that they will treat everyone else or worse. Why did I even treat you that well? That's why I told you that love is like a drug. Like it kind of make you feel a bit insane, right? You're no longer yourself. You're feeling these feelings, so you treat someone very, very well. But then when these feelings are gone, you go back to your selfish ways. You're like, I shouldn't have treated this person very well, because you're no longer feeling these feelings. Human beings are naturally selfish. We don't really want to treat other people well because we don't love one another. We love ourselves. So we only treat people well when we feel these emotions. That's why I'm telling you that we are loyal to our feelings. So there's a big chance that no one ever loved you. They've only loved how they felt about you. That's why people don't love you just because you're a good person. They don't love you just because you love them. They don't love you just because of the things you do for them. You can treat someone so damn well and they still don't love you. They don't feel these feelings. Lucky are those who are able to make a lot of people feel these feelings for them because they are treated well in our society. They get privileges in our society. I know what you're thinking. These kind of people are also hated in our society. A very attractive woman will be hated by other women, and she will also be hated by men. But no, actually, they're not hated. I'll explain what actually happened. Men hate the fact that they can't be with that woman. Like a lot of men who cannot be with that kind of woman know that they cannot be with that kind of. They hate that. They hate the fact. Like that doesn't make them feel good. So they think they hate the woman. But no, if the same woman started loving them, they wouldn't hate her because they don't really hate her. They just hate how they feel. They feel unworthy. Women who are jealous of this beautiful, they don't hate these beautiful women. They want to be like them. They just hate that they feel insecure around them. They hate that men are doing things for them that are not that they are not doing, for them. So it might seem like they hate them. I've seen this so many times. You find that people are talking. Look, in high school, there's this new student, very, very attractive. People are gossiping about this student. Everyone hates this student. But once this student starts to talk to them, try to get close, try to know them, they love this student. But if that student never try to get close to them, they will feel like they hate that student. But no, it's not that they hate the student, they hate how they feel. That student reminds them of how unlovable they are. But once the student is close to them, they kind of they can't help it but like the student. Why? Because they're gonna benefit in some way. But there are people in the world, no matter what they do, no matter how good they are, no matter who they try to talk to, who they try to connect with, no one gives a shit. These are the unluckiest people in the world. There's the guy who's 5'1", 5'2", and all the women are nah. They don't feel those feelings when they see this guy. So nope. So this guy has to go through hell. He doesn't know what to do. Maybe he thinks, maybe if I work out, that's gonna help. Or maybe if I become rich, that's gonna help. Find that you get taken advantage of. The truth is that we don't really love one another as people. We love how we feel about one another. That's all. We're loyal to our feelings. There's that ex of yours that you've left that was treating you well, that seemed to love you unconditionally, that was good for you. But you left them because you lost feelings for them. You're loyal to your feelings. And you probably broke their heart. You probably cheated on them multiple times before you left. That's life. You are loyal to your feelings. I've explained why you've never really loved another person. You've only loved yourself. in a way that makes sense. I don't know who'll disagree with what I've just said. I mean, come on, come on, come on. Yeah. Now I want to explain what true love is. As human beings, we love ourselves, right? That's how we've been programmed. We've been programmed to love ourselves. So to love another person, you must understand them the same way that you understand yourself. You see, the reason why you're loyal to your feelings, the reason why you love yourself is because you understand yourself. You look at yourself as like the main character. You're the main character in your story. So you gotta win. Like when you're watching a movie and you are shown things from the perspective of the main character, you want that character to win. We love Thanos, even though he was a villain, because we've been shown his story. We understood him. We understood where he comes from, what he's been through. So we wanted him to win because we understood. Joker, 2018, 2019. Yeah. Joker was unaliving people in that movie, but you still loved him. You still was rooting for him. Why? Why were you rooting for him, even though he was clearly the bad guy? You were rooting for him because you understood him. I want you to understand that. You were rooting for Joker because you understood him. The real problem is that we do not understand one another as people. That is the real problem. You will love any person in the world, any person, if you had to see life from their perspective. Like if you had their memories, if you have seen the things that they've been through, experienced what they have experienced, understand why they feel the way that they feel, why they think the way that they think, you would love them. You even love your enemies, the people that you hate, the people who you think are selfish, the people who you think are evil. You'd actually love them if you understood them, if you understood why they are the way that they are. The movie Joker is like the best example of this. In Batman movies, of course, wanted Batman to win, right? I mean, but I kind of like Batman movies because they kind of like give us a background story of the villain. But yeah, we would look at Joker as the bad guy because of what he was doing. I didn't really look at him as the bad guy, but we would look at him as the bad guy because there's a hero. And we are being made to love the hero because we understand the hero more. Like we are being shown things from the perspective of the hero. But if they try to show us things from the perspective of a villain, we'll still love the villain. That's the thing. That's why we love Thanos. They showed us things from his perspective. They never really showed us things from his perspective. We'll just look at him as the bad guy who just wanted to wipe half of all life. Think about it. Did you love Thanos when they first introduced him? I think it was in the movie. It was in the movie, the Guardian of the Galaxy. You didn't love him. You didn't know him. They just showed this guy who wanted to unalive people. Like you don't know his background story. You don't know why he wanted to do that. You just looked at him as like the typical villain who's selfish. That's because you never understood him. You never understood where he was coming from. What I've grown to understand is that if any person in the world, if we were able to truly experience life from other people's perspective, we would love them. We would not hate them, no matter who they are. If I was able to experience life from the perspective of someone that I don't like, I'll be able to love them. I'll be able to understand why they think the way that they think, why they feel the way that they think, feel why they behave the way that they behave. But we do not understand one another. You meet a person who is very selfish now. You just hate them. Oh, you're selfish, you're selfish. Maybe when they were young, they were mistreated a lot. They were selfish, they were good, but they were mistreated a lot until a part of them died. This reminds me of this anime that I've only watched the recap actually. Like I came across a clip on TikTok. I think it's called Big Mom or something like that, where this young girl was left by her parents because she was growing bigger than normal, so they knew they wouldn't be like, they wouldn't be able to handle her, so they left her alone when she was young, and she waited there thinking that her parents were going to come back, but they never came back for her. And she grew bigger. She couldn't socialize when she was growing up because other kids were bullying her. Whenever she would try to help, she would screw things up. She never knew how to connect with other people, but she had a good heart. Until it got to a point where she had a bad heart because of how she has been treated. She was only just trying to survive. But if you don't know the background story, you're going to hate her, right? There are people in this world, and this is something that I've realized, and it fucked with me when I realized this. Usually the people who have been very good and kind in the beginning turn into some of the most effed up people in the world. You find that this person was so kind, more kind than anyone else, but they were being mistreated. Right? They were being mistreated. Their kindness was taken for weakness. Like people never liked them. So it got to a point where something in them died. And who's to blame? If someone has a good heart and you kill it, who's to blame? And you kill it and then replace it with something else. Because the way that we treat each other, whether we like to admit this or not, it does matter. People will say, oh, you are responsible for how you feel, you are responsible for how you act. Not really, because we're social creatures. How other people treat me matter. How I treat other people matter. If people treat you like shit for real, that can F you up psychologically for life. That can do that. Especially if that happens when you are very vulnerable. When you're young, you are very vulnerable. When you're older, at least you can be independent. You can leave the people who are not treating you right. But let's just say you're young. You have to grow up in a family where you're not being treated right. Where are you gonna run to? Like, you don't have a choice. You have to constantly deal with the abuse, is it? So that's gonna F you up psychologically. What I've learned is that if we truly understood one another, we will be able to love one another. We will stop looking at ourselves as the main characters. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't look at yourself as a main character in this life story. You look at everyone as the main character because you will understand where they are coming from. Because they understand themselves. Every person thinks they're good. Some people will tell you they're not good, but that's because the world is judging them, but they understand themselves. They understand why they are the way that they are. Some people might not really understand themselves that well, but they kind of do. They do understand why they are the way that they are. We need to be able to understand one another in order to love one another. The problem is that we do not understand one another. We are too quick to judge. Humanity is too quick to judge, bro. We are judging one another based on what we are able to see. People who are broken, because they cannot behave in a way that makes us feel this emotion, these positive emotions, we just don't like them. We just continue to mistreat them, and they become more and more broken and cynical because What can they do? You know what I mean? We don't think, hey, at some point in their lives, maybe they had good intentions, maybe they were good, but then something broke them, and we continue to mistreat them because now we don't feel these positive emotions when we see them. Remember, we're loyal to our feelings, right? So if you don't feel positive emotions when you see someone, how are you going to treat them? And some people will make it hard for us to feel positive emotions for them. Why? Because they are broken. They don't know how to act in a way that will make us feel positive emotions for them. They haven't learned how to do that because of how they had to grow up. Maybe they had to constantly protect themselves, right? They had to be in survival mode their whole lives. So they don't know what to do. That's life, bro. It's cruel, but we don't want to admit that. I remember yesterday I was watching this other podcast where this guy who just got released from prison was being interviewed. They asked him about his childhood. They said that when after his mom gave birth to him, she left him with some people who are not even his relatives. And left and went to live in Joburg. And they raised him, but they didn't really care about him. No, they were not treating him the way that they were treating their children. So he had to leave and look for his mom. He found her in Johannesburg, but she didn't even have a home. He found her at a tavern. She didn't even have a home. So what was he going to do? He's young. He's like 8, 9, 10. I started to live in the street. She didn't have a home. And started robbing people. What can he do? He's not being shown love, and he's seeing the other side of humanity, seeing how selfish we are. Some of the problems that we have are caused by the fact that we're so freaking selfish. We don't want to help. You see some kid in the street who didn't ask to be brought into this existence, even though you're a pro-natalist, you're saying people should be brought into this existence. You see that kid, the kid has not done anything to deserve to be in the street, but you don't help the kid. You don't give a shit. There are billionaires who don't give a shit, right? They're not like, hey man, you know what, let's help these kids, man. You know, because I can help them, but no one gives a damn. So can you really blame these kids if they become cynical and start doing things that we might not agree on as a collective? Like what goes around comes back around. Like we are the ones who are causing our own problems because we don't understand one another. We never put ourselves in other people's shoes. We only care about our needs, our feelings. What am I going to benefit from this? What am I going to benefit from treating this person well? What am I going to benefit from being kind to this one? Nothing. So I'm not going to be kind. I'm not even going to look at this person twice. They really need my help, but I don't give a shit. Charles Manson, when he was being interviewed by this reporter who lacks understanding, so he cannot love. So yeah, he was saying to Charles Manson when he was in prison, he was like, all the people on death row, all the people who are here should be put on death row or a condemned row. And Charles said something that spoke to me deeply. He's like, yo man, most people in here are your reflections, they are your mistakes as a collective. It's like, damn, the wisdom of this guy. People in here are your reflections, they are your mistakes as a collective. That's the truth. That's the truth. What do you expect people to do if they are forced to live in a world where they're not being treated right? Remember, no one asked to be brought into existence. If we are going to be pro-natalist in this society, then we have to make sure that every child is treated well, period. Because they don't ask to be brought here. But if you're still going to be against antinatalism and act like we're crazy for saying, if you're going to be against antinatalists and say that we're crazy for saying the things that we're saying, like, come on. We're going to keep on causing problems that we'll never be able to fix without realizing that we are the cause of these problems. So Charles was able to understand these guys because he was kind of like them. I mean, he kind of like grew up like, you know, like them. Like he was mistreated when he was young. His mom was a prostitute, I think. No one was like really taking care of him when he was growing. Like he had to take care of him. So I understood why those people were like that. But if you're too privileged, you just think, oh, they're just selfish, they're just evil. You don't understand that you could have been anyone in this world. You're not sitting in your room watching me right now because you are better than a person who's in prison. No, you're not. Life could have treated you in a way that will actually turn you into a criminal. You're just privileged. Life just treated you right. Like we don't have free will. If life wants you to end up in prison, you will end up in prison. Like it's like you're not that strong. You think, oh, I'm that strong. Like, no, you're not. You could become anyone if life wants you to become anyone. So it's not really up to you. Like there are no good or bad people. They're just lucky and unlucky people, if we need to be more honest. But people are lying to themselves because we do not understand one another. Know the truth and the truth shall set you free, man. Everything that I'm telling you is the truth. I don't know how anyone will disagree. Any person who's going to disagree, because I know there's going to be some people who are going to disagree, are people who have not watched the video, you know. I speak the truth, bro. I explain things as they are. I've never seen anyone try to debate me on the level that I'm communicating with them. That's the problem. You just tell me what other people are saying against what I'm saying. Like, nah, man. Try to debate what I'm saying. Say that I'm wrong. and debate exactly what I've said. So, yeah, love is understanding. You need to understand another person. You need to be able to see things from their perspective. To love Thanos, you had to understand things from his perspective. To love Tony Stark, you had to see things from his perspective. You know what I mean? You cannot love what you don't understand. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because you're selfish. As a human being, you're selfish. But once you understand another person, you take them as a part of yourself. You see? Because so you're going to be able to love them because you love yourself. So if you take something as part of yourself, you're going to love it because you love yourself. You do not love other, you love you. So you must take other as part of you. But to take other as part of you, you must love other. I mean, you must understand other first. Without understanding other, you can never take it as part of yourself. That's what you must understand. I've explained that so well, so damn well. Why? Why is it hard for people to actually understand one another? What's making it hard? The way that society has been structured, we're supposed to compete with one another. You can never try to understand the person that you're competing with. I mean, you try to identify their weaknesses, that's all, and so that you'll exploit their weaknesses. You're not trying to understand them. Even if you try to study them, like if you were supposed to fight someone, you need to study their weaknesses. You need to know how they fight. How can I exploit their weakness? That's all. Like, this is what you be studying. You're not trying to understand them. That is why it's not easy for people who understand one another to fight. Like in MMA, for example, Khabib and Islam Makhachev won't fight because they understand each other, right? They grew up together, training together. So Khabib looks at Islam Makhachev as part of himself. Islam Makhachev looks at Khabib as part of himself. But they can fight people that they don't know because they don't look at these people as part of themselves. You see? Like the people whom you think are your enemy, not that you think are your enemies, but that you don't like, it's because you don't take them as part of yourself. You don't understand them. There are people that you do not like just because you don't know them. Once you get to know them and be close with them, you actually start liking them. So the problem is that we live in a society that doesn't allow us to understand one another. It wants us to exploit each other's weaknesses because we are supposed to be competing for survival because, well, human beings are trying to survive. So that is creating separation by default. You see, we're being separated. So of course we cannot love one another truly. We'll only love how we feel, and we're gonna be more loyal to our feelings now more than ever because we don't understand one another, so we never get to feel positive emotions. So we only feel positive emotions when we find people who make us feel these positive emotions. So we're just going to, be loyal to them just because of how we feel. You see the problem? So love isn't what you think it is. You stop romanticizing love and try to understand it. And try to be a better human being by understanding other humans. There's nothing that beats understanding. You can understand anyone, like anyone, even the most horrible people in the world, you can actually understand them. And once you understand someone, automatically you will take them as part of yourself. It's inevitable, but you must understand them. If you don't understand them, then you're not going to take them as part of yourself. So you must understand them first, and you will take them as part of yourself. And that is love. Love is understanding. Thank you, guys.